Hello, everybody. Welcome to our next installment of Hope at Home, bringing Hearts of Hope Family Grief Camp to where you are. Today, we're talking with Pat Sheveland. All of her information and bio will be down in the description. And we're talking about disappointment today. So, welcome, Pat.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I'm a little disappointed, to tell you the truth. I'm glad we're talking about this today. This weekend, tomorrow, if you guys are watching this on Thursday, was supposed to be our spring Hearts of Hope Family Grief Camp, and it has been postponed due to quarantine. Right now, it's scheduled to go May 15th through the 17th, but we're still not sure about that. We don't know where we're going to be then, so we have a lot of stuff that's up in the air. So I thought today would be a really good day to talk about disappointment.
Yes.
Pat, let's get right into it.
Okay.
Is it normal to feel disappointment or even grief when something has been canceled due to quarantine?
Oh, absolutely. I think we're all feeling it and we're sitting at home, but I'm thinking about all the kids in school and all the activities that come in the springtime and your sports events and proms and graduations. And, I just saw on Facebook a friend's daughter who's wondering if she has to postpone her wedding. Those are huge disappointments. They're big milestones in our lives. And so, yes, and grief, it's just like layering. If we already have things that we're grieving, this is layering upon that. But absolutely, just those things in and of itself, because it's a loss. So yes, it's a very difficult time for everybody who has these things that are being delayed or canceled. Children's grief, our camp coming up this weekend, for all of us who are volunteers and for all the families that were coming, it's a huge disappointment because we always look so forward to that.
Can feelings of disappointment add struggle for someone who's grieving?
Yes, absolutely. Can it add struggles? As I said earlier, it's like layering on that grief. So we're already grieving, and then we're doing things. A lot of times when we're grieving and we're starting to walk that grief journey, we start taking those steps of interacting with people maybe a little bit more, getting back to work, doing some things that help us, going back to school if we're kids. And we're doing these things to help us get back into some normalcy during a very tough time. And so when these disappointments come, it's just like layering on that grief because we don't have a tools and ways to go out there to help us in our coping. And now we're also isolating. It's just like it's isolation upon isolation, which is extremely difficult at this time.
What are some things we can do to positively address and cope with these feelings?
Oh, there's so many things that we can be doing. I mean, the number one thing is I always tell people, I work with a lot of grieving parents, is let's start breathing, because we just need to breathe through this. And so I think we see that all over the internet too. But that's the first thing when I get on a call is like, okay, let's just take 3 to 5 really good breaths, breathing in through our nose, out through our mouth, allowing that energy and those feelings to just kind of dissipate a little bit, to calm down just a little bit. There are so many things that we can be doing even when we're isolated. We can work with our families to maybe doing some cooking together, little things like that. Family games. I mean, think about how busy we are when we're not in this isolation phase. And so we can take some time. I have a trail outside the back of our home. And so I've been going out there every day and doing, a 2 to 3 mile walk. And I have to tell you, Jess, it is so awesome to see these families with the kids on the bikes and mom and dad on the bikes, or everybody's walking together. They're keeping their social distancing. But oh man, everybody is out and enjoying the wonderful weather we're having in Minnesota this week. And those are just really important things because we're getting the exercise, which is very, very important. We're doing things so that we're not sitting in our mind. When we're grieving, isolation is tough in and of itself. A lot of people keep busy so that they can not be in their heads all the time. And so I've heard from a lot of grieving parents, especially, that they're in their heads so much more because they're not as busy. So find things that can just keep yourself a little bit busy. One of the things that I love on Facebook is what's it called? The heart hunters,
Oh
where people
yeah,
are
yeah,
doing
yeah.
all those cool
Those are
hearts,
so cool.
aren't they? And
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
did that at our house.
we're working on it, and so it's like, yes, I mean, just doing little things. I took a walk yesterday, and one of the families in the cul-de-sac where we live went and drew the big hearts on their driveway. So you went by and a really beautiful message, and I'm like, oh, this is just like so cool. So there's lots of different things that we can do to bring a little lightness in. And as I said, when we're feeling like, oh, I can't take it anymore, just take a few breaths. Or I've been dancing and singing a lot by myself.
Last question. What are some things that are not helpful when dealing disappointment, and how can we address these things when we recognize them?
Oh, the things that are not helpful is our emotions can get the best of us. And so getting really angry, I mean, the emotions are okay. And I want people to understand that it's really super okay to have the emotions of disappointment, even some anger and just frustration. That's all normal. But when we take that on and we maybe say things that might hurt someone just out of not thinking, or we do something that might hurt someone or ourselves, those are the things that we just don't want to do. We certainly don't want to take in behaviors that might not be healthy for us. Like some people might just overeat, right? Some adults I know may go on the internet and just start shopping like crazy because we're trying to feed that hole that we feel inside of us. So we want to make sure that we're actually just doing some of the things like I talked about, getting together as a family and doing some games, FaceTiming with the family and friends that you can't see, that you can't be with. If I'm in school and it's my classmates, let's get on and FaceTime with each other and connect that way. Groups can get together and do chatting. And like I said, getting outside and getting in nature is so important. So going outside in the backyard, if you have a backyard, just getting out and breathing in that fresh air. And for me, it's just the little things, like listen for the little birds chirping out there. Just quiet down and listen, especially for those who are listening who are grieving right now. These are the little actions that you can take when the grief feels a little overwhelming. Just little tiny steps, little things to help get your mind into a space of I think I can get through this.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for all these ideas and for talking to us today. We're just excited to be able to sort of bring this to people in lieu of being able to bring camp to people. So this was our way. This was a way we at the office had with dealing with our disappointment of postponing camp. We're like, you know what? We're going to bring it to them. We're going to call our people who would normally be at camp helping us out, and we're going to tap them. And thank you for being one of those people that would help us out.
I'm glad to connect with you because I know I'm sorely disappointed for not being able to go this weekend. But I will do something in honor of camp this weekend. I don't know what yet, but there'll be something going on. That's all, so that I'll be wearing my tie-dyed hiking boots. I've started wearing those already. So
yeah. Thank you, Pat, for everything today. All Pat's information will be down in the description here. That little book you see behind her there is Pat's new book. That's out. We'll put a link to that. That's on Amazon, right, Pat?
it's on Amazon, but actually, can I just say that if anybody wants an electronic copy of the book, all they have to do is go to survivechildloss.com and I will send them a free copy.
Oh, thank you so much. We'll put a link to that too. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks.